Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Dungeons and Dopes, where we just try to play Dungeons and Dragons. It's my birthday. Thanks for stopping by and checking us out. And without further ado, Shady, tell us where we left off.
In a world where Ryan keeps fucking up.
He's not wrong.
No.
All right. So last time,
Previously on Lost.
There was some shit happening.
hold on. I'm trying to get Mixer up on my side. It's not working. All I'm seeing is a black screen. Anyone else? No. There we go. Okay.
Well, I have Tom Cruise.
All right.
Jambo, link it.
The last thing we closed out the session with, Lee went to implore his god for the invading influence of the Dark Mother. And when he opened his eyes from his prayer, there was a presence, a shadowy figure in front of him. And when he moved, it lurched at him. And your new halfling friend, no, she's a gnome.
Mhm.
Gnome's pet rat was tagging along, also got attacked from being in proximity. When everyone shows up, they find one unconscious Lee, who has yet to be roused, but is in no mortal danger, and then a freaked out rat who has seen some shit, man. He's got a cocaine habit now. He smokes cigarettes like they're going out of style.
Got the shakes.
He does all the butt stuff now because it just makes him feel normal.
Mr. Chimney.
We left off with Rakk sitting in a cell with Lee, just on the off chance that Lee isn't what wakes up. We find ourselves waking up the following morning in the barracks with Rensler, Andronicus, and Autumn. It's been a weird evening. The rest that you guys did get has been fitful, and you toss and turn just the area of being around what happened has you all freaked out. What little sleep you do get, because this all happened and played out about 2-3 in the morning, you're rested, but well wouldn't be a modifier to describe it.
I'm
Man,
unconscious.
I could use some coffee.
I want to check on my rat and see if there's any way we can like make my rat feel better or try to communicate with it.
Part of your fitful rest is you holding your rat, and every time you toss or turn, you start yourself awake and check on your rat. At this point, it's in a normal, restful sleep.
That's good.
When you wave food in front of its nose this time, it actually kind of trails after it when you move it away.
It's
seems
working.
like it's going to be okay. But the sun rises and you with it. Whether from just a normal routine or some shadowy, vague nightmare presence still haunting you. The sun's up and you're up. Andronicus, you wait to see Autumn checking on her rat with a heartfelt and relieved sigh. She's like, as she starts stroking right between his ears.
And then I would like to ask her, after checking on your rat, were you able to communicate with it? I remember you saying you were able to do something like that. Did it learn anything from its experience?
I'll agree to try to speak to my rat through my mind.
Okay. So you reach out with your mind, and what do you want to learn from the rat?
I want to try to see, like, ask it what it saw before they both got attacked, or like when he went.
So when you communicate with your rat,
Unconscious.
it's not the same way humans communicate. It's much more of a like a pictorial, like you see a picture, you lay out a scene, you recall environmental effects, smells, sensations. When you create the image of the graveyard, your rat's mind recoils from the image, and you get a series of blasted pictures, smells, and it takes you a few seconds to get everything kind of sorted out. And what it sends back is heavy oppressiveness, odors of blood and like offal, and just the images are flashing giant predatory creatures to it.
Okay.
So it was really scared.
Yeah, I'll share with the group what sensations I picked up from the rat's mind about the predatory creatures and the smells, and I'll say like it's not quite clear exactly what happened. Can,
You know that to it considers a predatory creature a cat or a dog, but it's sending out like more like if instead of seeing like a cat would freak it out or a dog would freak it out, it's sending like 10,000 cats or 10,000 dogs. Like, and the second it starts sending these images back to you, it starts shivering a little bit. Effectively, it's communicating to this isn't normal danger. It could handle normal danger.
Some serious danger. Some real danger.
For reals.
That real.
could I try to message with Lee and see if maybe mentally there's something going on at this point after some rest?
You think it'd probably be better to do that in person, or like closer because it's through a building in the ground. So you're thinking, yeah, I'll get a little closer. We'll try it.
Oh, so my
You're in the
rat came back.
barracks. Yeah, you guys, after he got put in the jail cell last night, you guys went back down the hill to the barracks.
Oh, I would like to suggest that we go visit everybody in the barracks then.
You mean the dungeon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. I think we should all reconvene.
Renzo's still asleep, but he's rousing as you guys are having this quiet conversation early in the morning.
Riddler, wake up.
Snuggle down, pillow like this, butt up in the air. No.
Just waiting.
I don't want any more apples, my grandma.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Let's not sword fight again. I don't like that.
So he kind of naturally comes awake. Yeah. As you suggested, going to check on everyone.
Yeah, hey, you want to go check on Lee and see what's going on with him today?
See if we can learn anything.
Yeah? No?
Yes. I was still asleep. I'm so sorry. Sometimes I have this thing where I go into a trance and I don't sleep sometimes.
Snap out of it. You're awake.
It's an elf trait. Leave me alone.
No. We have to go check on everybody.
Everybody's already checked on. Let's go check on everybody.
No, we have to.
Yeah.
We gotta go try to talk to Lee.
That's a good point. As an elf, you don't sleep.
Exactly.
Elves meditate. So you're coming out of your meditative 4-hour meditative period.
With my butt in the air and a pillow.
That's right.
I was meditating.
Yeah,
meditation
meditation
am I doing?
Downward elf.
You meditate. You meditate in an elf pose called diving eagle faces the ground.
Listening to that.
It helps
listening
with
to the acoustic rendition of that one movie about those dudes on the mountain.
That's right. So anyway, your meditations are just disturbing images that keep you from feeling as refreshed as you normally do after your meditations.
So I've had a really restless meditation. That's what you're saying. Okay. My hair messed up though. That's the thing.
Rinsler, it looks like your meditation didn't go as well as my sleep did.
Well, when you have a wife that looks like mine, it's always possible.
And
Are we
can
going then?
I
Are we
wanted to
going?
ask,
Let's go.
And- where's JD's character again? Where's
Rakk is in the cell with Lee.
Yeah,
okay,
remember he's guarding him.
gotcha.
He's going to
That's right.
execute anything that isn't Lee. The
Gotcha.
safe word was potatoes.
That's correct.
That's right. Potatoes,
Potatoes.
mashed, fried, scallop.
All
Doesn't
of them.
matter. All of them. Redskin,
Hell yeah. Doesn't
Yukon.
matter. I don't care. Just feed them
Russet.
to me.
russet.
Rustic.
Russet.
So you get up, and there's already soldiers mustering, practicing drills. There's an air of organization and practice routine. They don't really pay you any mind as you walk out. Nobody stops you as you start walking up the hill. And you find Danielle waiting at the top of the hill before the house. Hello. Good
Hey,
morning.
good morning.
I figure you want to go check on your friend, so we go.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we want to go check on Lee.
Yeah, all right. And he leads you through the slowly becoming familiar passages down into the first floor of the dungeon. I've not heard anything from your friend, either of them. So I don't know if you all want to go, if you want to one or two at a time, or if you all want to go.
Well, how is he right now? Is he responsive? Last time I saw him, he was
He
on.
Again,
hasn't heard.
I have not heard anything, my friend. So I could not tell you.
Well,
Fantastic.
maybe
If you all want to go.
let's all go in there together,
Let's
and then
go.
if we gotta split it up, we will.
All right. And he kind of waves you down. The guard sitting at the gate jumps up when Danielle comes in. It's fine. Just open the gates and sit. He lets you guys in. When we meet,
Yay!
Rakk, you as people are on the upper level coming down, your ears kind of perk up.
I still got my back to the door, like I'm completely blocking the door.
Yep.
Is there like a little slot? Can I look in? Can I peek?
Yeah, there's room on either side. He blocks the door, but there's like a couple feet on each side that you can see around.
Gotcha.
Hello.
Mr. Rakk,
Hello.
can we look? Can we? Hey, Lee.
How you guys doing? Sticking my lips to the crack. How you guys doing in there?
He's
Yo, Lee.
still-
Let's see if anyone's really surprised. Renzo wants to put his lips on somebody's crack.
He's still unconscious. I would have sent you if you had things changed.
Yeah, I know, but like we do really just care about our newfound friend Lee. So we just thought we'd take it upon ourselves to just pop in, and say, "Hey, Lee, you awake yet?" So, I mean, if you
yeah,
want us to go, I guess we can go.
Rakk, as of now, he seems like he's resting. The cold and the color is back. He's a normal pallor. He's
Are his
not
eyes
a steam
white
pallor
still?
anymore. He is still unconscious though.
What about his eyeballs? Are his eyeballs still white?
He looks better. I'll send for you when I have something.
Okay. Maybe we could all go get breakfast then.
Yeah. Minus the slop. No slop this time. It's disgusting. I hate you.
I mean, I'm not ever going to complain about slop. I've had bad
Danielle,
slop.
after talking with the guard, comes over. Rakk, do you need food to relieve yourself? Would you like to come out? I have some men sitting there with him. All right. I don't mean to be rude because I don't know the social implications of what to ask, but do you want anything to drink? Milk? Wine? Is it offensive to ask a Minotaur to drink milk? Because it comes from a cow. Not trying to be rude. I
I
don't know.
don't know.
Some people think it's weird that I can breathe through water even though I drink water.
You have
Bring some
milk
fruits.
straight from the tap that I can just go.
I
Bring
mean,
some
it's
fruits.
it's
sorry,
just
what?
something that I can do.
Bring some fruits.
Right. I have a guard to bring it down to you. These guards, Simon. If you need anything, you just tell him Simon get it.
I want to offer to help in some kind of way, like
Get me.
like I want to say to our Minotaur friend here, like, hey, like if you're not comfortable with us like coming in the cell and stuff, like that's fine. We're new friends here, but is there any way we can aid in like the investigation? Like, is there something we can go investigate or do instead of just like sit around eating breakfast?
Go look at where we found him. It was dark. Maybe there was be easier to find information.
Okay. How does the
Outside
rest
of
of the
that.
party feel? Okay.
I mean, I'm all for going back to the graveyard, I guess, but I want to get something to eat first.
But I want some breakfast.
I want some breakfast. I need a biscuit or something. Just something.
I mean, in all fairness, he has to eat. He's got 12 stomachs.
12 stomachs, guys, okay?
Okay. We're gonna go get this cranky dragon some food.
I think
Wait,
I
are
can
you
feel
part
something
cow?
like
Why
about
do you have
like
12
the
stomachs?
size of an acorn in my 9th stomach. That means in about 3 hours I'm gonna have to poop, and I'm really hungry.
At this tirade about his stomach, Danielle just walks off, has a quick word with Simone, and then just leaves. And like, nope, I'm out, I'm done.
Some people can't hang. What do you want?
While Danielle is gone, I want to ask our Minotaur friend how things went over the evening, and like if anyone there was like odd or strange. Should we keep an eye out for anyone?
As much as you see it now.
Okay, so no one's been like by or anything.
No, the guards.
The only thing you note is that the guy that was there when you first went in the cell isn't the same guy. The new guard is, as Danielle said, Simon.
Okay, when do they switch the guard?
A couple hours before dawn.
Okay.
So actually, that guard was probably there for like 1 hour, and then Simone showed up.
I want to ask the guard how many other guards are in his shift. He could have seen something.
He's just me, unless there are many prisoners, and right now there's one prisoner and one detainee. So
Okay.
only me right now. We pull more as needed.
Okay. Well, if it's going to be near impossible for me to talk to the guy that was here before you, I suggest that we all go.
He'll be back tonight. We fortnightly we have change duty.
What time? What time's he going to be here?
About 8 at night.
Okay. I'm going to make a mental note. Everybody else that can hear me, make a mental note. 8 p.m. We got to talk to this guard.
8 p.m. I'll set my stopwatch.
That's right. That's right.
I could, if there
Why-
are questions you could write them down, and I could give to him, and he could.
Yeah, I
lead
want to
them.
know if he saw anything weird.
I mean, other than a bunch of people bringing a dead body, in here and leaving a Minotaur in the prison cell? No, it's pretty quiet tonight.
I mean, the guy Lee on the floor, was he shaking, convulsing? Was he doing something weird? I mean, his eyeballs were freaking white, okay? I'm just saying. Not everybody's eyeballs do that. Some people do.
Okay, well, maybe we should go get some breakfast. You seem kind of crabby.
Yep. Everybody gets crappy when they need breakfast. Let's go.
Yeah, okay, breakfast sounds good, and then we should take off.
Where are we going?
Go.
We're gonna go back to where Lee was.
Autumn starts walking away. She's like, no, I'm done.
I'm done.
And we cut to breakfast.
As you guys are tromping out and walking back down the hill toward the barracks, Lee, your mind is settled. You still feel two distinct presence. One, the familiar and welcome presence of your god. The other is a foreign, invading, and a presence that wants to be comforting and welcoming, but doesn't understand what it is to be welcoming and comforting. If an eagle could welcome a fish, but it's still an eagle, and every time it tries to comfort the fish, it just claws it up. Effectively, that's what it's like when this presence is focusing on you. But they both proceed over the next couple hours. And as the sun rises, you settle into this feverish dream of just reliving the moment over and over. And in some instances, it's Noctum jumping to protect you. In others, it's Noctum attacking you. You begin to drift and have religious visions of Noctum and the rites. But then there are just subtle little twists in it. A figure standing where there wasn't, or there wouldn't be anyone. Or the priest all of a sudden looking wrong. And your mind fights to recollect correctly and create a contiguous flow of events that are correct, but it can't. About an hour after sunrise, your eyes flutter open.
What? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Okay,
What you actually say is potatoes. No, your eyes flutter open, and to your mind, it has been literally a second, an eternity held in 1 second. You wake up disoriented, and you think you should still be in the graveyard.
Coming to the consciousness, I'm just like, what the fuck? Where? Am I in a cell? I thought I was in a graveyard. Rakk, what the fuck happened, man? What's going on here?
We shall see soon. I'm gonna reach behind me. I'm gonna slide him the fruit tray across the floor.
I'm gonna pick it up. Guess I start to eat it, and I'm starting to eat it. I'm like, and I.
The first couple bites taste kind of ashen, like something's wrong. And for the first time in a while, you have this, gosh, you know what I want? Just like a raw steak, just cooked enough to be warm.
He liking?
And then there's a moment where you kind of drop the fruit, and you're like, I don't. Then you settle back into your normal state.
Kind of think for a minute, thinking that's very, very weird, given the fact that I don't know what steak tastes like.
And yet somehow there's the metallic-y tang in the back of your mouth. And just as you focus on that strange alien sensation, you begin to salivate just ever so slightly. Like,
I look at Rakk, I'm like, Rakk, there is something not right with what's going on inside of me. There's another presence that is with me. I am craving things that I detest and I don't even like. such as flesh. Something is wrong with me. We need to talk to somebody about getting rid of whatever it is that is with me.
So, the whole time, my character's been sitting with his back against the cell door, his hands kind of clasp over the end of the club. He stands up, pulls up the club. I was afraid of this. I start walking toward Lee.
I'm like, holy shit, dude, no, it's me, but there's something else with me. Like, it's me, but inside there's, like, another me that's not me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a
This
Nessie
Be
gibberish.
doll.
calm. It won't take long.
My babushka.
I'm just like, holy shit. And I'm like, Rakk, bro, no, potatoes, man, potatoes. It's okay, potatoes. Potatoes.
Roll persuasion. Rakk, roll insight. See if you believe it.
You gotta believe the potatoes.
13.
They're wholesome.
Not that high. There it is. 17.
As far as you could tell, like the panic of no, wait, I'm explaining this poorly, especially the part about the flesh.
I'm craving meat. I don't like meat, but my body's craving meat. There's something inside me that is trying to take over.
Dragonborn.
Something
Santa
that
Clarita
wants
diet?
me to do things that I do not do.
It's a good show.
Something that is contradictory to everything that I represent.
Then we fix the problem.
Just kind of close my eyes. I'm like, fuck it. I got nothing. Make it quick.
It's like, hold on, let me put my mouth guard in. Okay,
So
smile for the camera.
You don't
as
have
he
a
kind
mouth
of
guard in
gives
your
himself
pack.
over, I want to walk over and like put my hand on his head and see if I like anything, if I get any kind of impression that something's going on.
All right, roll religion.
Okay. Where's my button? Ah. A 10.
Tired of this.
You get a vague sensation that there are two distinct presence. One just has this sort of abrasiveness, and one has, to your mind, an almost natural feel. Like, oh, this is something that's normal. It's a part of normal life. This other one is not foreign, not alien, but just like it's amped to 100.
Rakk. I pull out the that little like book thingy that has like the notes and stuff in it, where it led
Mhm.
me to the
You
graveyard.
accidentally completed the second ritual of initiation.
Oh, I'm gonna go into details and tell them what happened. Is what I'm about to do.
Okay.
So I'm like, this book, these steps. The first step was us going to that initial graveyard where we ran into Nicodemus again, where we found our two friends, which I'd assume they're probably fine. I don't know what time it is. They're probably sleeping. It's not the point. Step 1. Step 2 was me going to the graveyard where you guys found me, and I don't know how this works, and I don't even know how it's right. But somehow or another, I have unintentionally enacted a ritual praying to my god of death by his name and calling out to knock them directly. Somehow or another, this other entity is taking that as me calling out to it, which doesn't make any sense to me. And inside me, these two, this god that I worship and I stand for and that I am 100% behind and represent, is combating this other entity, which is just, I feel it's just pure evil.
Whenever he holds up the pamphlet and is like, "Hey, this is what's going on, man. I'm freaking out." Is there anything in the pamphlet, or is it still just blank?
The only thing, if you were to rifle through it, to you, you would still only see the picture of the map.
Okay. I want to, like, while he's doing it, I'm going to take it from him with one hand. Still got the club with the other one. Still blank. Throw it back at him. You've lost it.
I'm like, Rakk, you really should learn better communication skills. And then I was like, guard, I'm awake. I'd like to get out of here.
The guard looks at Rakk. He's not technically a prisoner, so I will let him out now, unless you have a reason for him not to come out.
By his own admission, he's harboring some dark entity.
Oh, please, around here, we get the drunks in here. They say that kind of stuff all the time.
I look at the guard, and my eyes flicker white. Not like this.
Roll Intimidate real quick.
Sounded pretty cute there, Lee.
Natural 19.
There's only Zool.
Are you the game master?
There is no
That's
data.
He just looks
Zooly
at
baby,
you.
please.
What's your total?
It's a straight 19. I don't have a modifier on it.
Oh, yeah. He goes, please, I'm from Neverwinter. I've seen weird shit before.
Well then I'm like, well, let me the fuck out of here.
He walks over and starts opening the gate.
As soon as he opens it, I push the gate out the way.
Well,
I hold the
Minotaur's
gate.
still in front of you.
Thought he was behind me against the wall.
No, he's leaning against the door.
Then I go to push past him.
Okay.
Good luck.
At this point, to you, like, he said some weird, disturbing things, but he's acting like himself. And everything he said you believed so far. So are you going to try and keep him in here, or?
I would like to carry on the conversation a little bit longer before I'm...
Okay. Opposed strength check. See if you can push him out the way. You went out, he's not moving.
He has disadvantage.
I'm
How would
literally
that
just
work?
gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna burn Step of the Wind, and I'm just gonna go around him.
He's like holding the door.
He's holding the door. I just opened it.
No,
No,
the
the
guard
guard
just
opened
opened it, and he said he grabbed a hold of it to
So
keep.
then I'll just ninja dash around both of them.
Roll acrobatics.
And I'm literally going over
Yeah.
to Orlash's thing. I can roll acrobatics. I'm fine with that.
And it's going to be
You gotta roll
opposed
the
by
100-sided dice with
That's
the
fine.
negatives on it.
How would we do this? Because I count as large whenever it comes to pulling on the door.
He's trying to slip in because it did open a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just
You
trying
didn't
to
like pull it back shut. So there's a small gap in it. It's not open all the way.
I'm trying to Naruto run through the door.
With your horn on, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll say you roll strength to see if you can pull it shut, and he can roll dexterity.
With it being moving an object, what kind of modifier will I get for that? Because I'm large for that.
Roll with advantage.
Okay.
And add your athletics. He is a large creature. You're trying to dip by.
Okie dokie.
20.
So
Or
I need to
18. I'm
roll.
sorry, 18.
Is that with your
Yeah,
acrobatics?
I rolled a 12 plus 6.
Okay.
Double strength with advantage. Okay. 18.
So he starts to slip by, and like there's a moment you both realize, given enough time, he's going to get out unless you physically hurt him. and you realize he's trying to talk with you without hurting you, but if you push it much farther, it's going to turn into initiative.
I look at Rakk as I'm squeezing around him. I'm like, Rakk, it's me. I point down to that ring and say, remember that ring. You owe me.
Damn.
True, you did give me a gift. I did not think it would mean I was in service, and it,
Trust me, I'm fine. Now let me out of this fucking cell.
Roll persuasion.
I'll open the door.
Okay.
And I literally just walk around him and I go over to Orlash.
Okay.
So
He's just sitting there.
moving forward, as long as I am in an area where I can, and it's not like I'm trying to fit through a door, I have my club on the ready, like constantly. Like I'm just ready to just.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
I'm just following him around at this point.
You're trying to keep it looking casual, like, oh, I just have it up on my shoulder. It's fine. I carry it like this sometimes.
No.
It might fall and hit you in the head.
So you walk over to Orlash. He's sitting there meditating.
I'm like, Orlash, can I have a word?
He's got this deep, far-off look on his face.
I'll wait for a response. If he doesn't answer, then...
Okay, it takes you about 30 minutes, and then he's like, Oh, hey.
I flat out say, I need you to tell me everything you know about this mother, because everything that your friend, Freya, was dealing with, I am about a nose hair away from being a part of, because she is a part of me now, and I can't get rid of her. What was it that was the icing of the cake that pushed her over the edge? What was it that happened to her that you saw significant changes start happening to her other than her complaining? Because I am at that point, and I don't know what to do. I need your help. You've dealt with this before.
He sighs and looks at you and says, again, she got a wand called the Blasphemer, and then she talked about hearing something. That's all I know.
Cool. So the big wand thing that we found in the cemetery that we came from. Fantastic. So don't pick up any items. That's all I've got. Amazing.
Well, correction, you found a skeleton missing a femur.
Which I just kind of put two and two together and would assume was a femur.
Okay.
Is he a blasphemer?
Exactly. I want to go talk to Danielle and see if I can request kind of like the presence of, I guess, either like a cleric or somebody that is extremely knowledgeable in like necromancy.
You go over and talk to the guard, who's Simone, who's sitting there. He goes, there are no necromancers allowed in Brightvale because of the death code, so we figured to get rid of them. Clerics can be gotten, but they are busy tending to sick people, helping around the town. It'll be early afternoon before they come back.
When they get here, can you...
I leave a message and they will...
And in the meantime, can you tell me where my other friends are?
They were here about an hour ago, and they said they're going to get breakfast and go check on the graveyard again.
I say thank you, and I fucking max speed, max dash, take off to where they were.
He looks at Rakk and goes, he's a fast man.
Damn, son, you run a lot.
Right, I'll be right back.
That's all I can really do, man. I can't really take much of a beating. It hurts. My HP is not that good, but my guy's super quick. I can move like a total of like 180 feet in one go.
Damn.
Yeah. I
You
can.
gotta get up on that HP, bro.
I wish. I've only got 38.
Get you some of that HP, nice and deep like.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just keep going until I reach you guys, and once I get there, I'm gonna
What's your speed?
40, 40, 80, and then another 80 on top of it with my dash with
Andy.
Step of the Wind's 160. It doubles my speed. So it's
Can
160.
you do that?
Yeah. That's what Step of the Wind does. It allows me to take dash again as a bonus action.
That's dope.
Yeah. It also allows me to disengage.
So
But does
as
it
you
allow
take
you
off,
to
I'm gonna send my
engage?
bird up after you.
That's fine. You can follow me. I don't have a problem with
It's not fine.
that.
You could turn at any moment.
No, because this isn't obvious.
But I also said, I mean, we'll talk about that later once it gets to that point.
Chambo, did you eat anything other than oatmeal today for your birthday?
Yeah. We went to Red Robin, and I got myself the
Yum.
fattest burger, and it was really good. And I got it for free because it's my birthday.
Thought you were a
Was it
vegetarian.
takeout?
It was. I got an Impossible Burger.
Oh,
It was really good.
I still say it's meat. They lie.
We're wrong.
We sell those at work.
Dude, okay, so I thought they didn't sell Impossible Burger. They only sold Beyond. You have to, in order to get Impossible, you had to work in the restaurant field.
I mean, we have a full service pub and kitchen.
That's true. You guys might have them as just. That's true. You guys are different. That's not like the Whole Foods out here.
We have a bar.
Made
Yeah.
from plants. I don't know. I couldn't do it. To make
Dude,
a vegetable look like a plant
I had-
or a meat. Ugh.
It was sad. 3 days ago, I had to dump all the beer in my pub.
I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
So I guess it's
24
probably like
24
after
taps.
5-10 minutes, I just kind of. I don't really teleport, but you just see me kind of just appear out of nowhere. And I'm like. And I'm kind of looking around. And at this point, I'm just going to say. Andronicus, Autumn, where are you? Hello? I'm alive.
Eating breakfast.
I thought you guys were already back down there.
I'll be like, hey, we're at breakfast, but what do you feel like eating? Wink, wink.
I need. If she just messages me, then I'm just like, I need you to come down to the cemetery.
I need to know the
where it is.
password.
They're already there.
Potatoes. I like potatoes a lot.
You want to
Yeah.
eat potatoes?
I want to eat some potatoes. Yeah.
They're already
Sorry
there.
about that.
I've
by the way.
confirmed his identity.
They
Okay,
went.
so you meet up with. Where are you guys eating in like the barracks, or did you go out to breakfast?
I went to the cemetery where I was found.
Okay.
I'm eating my own food because I'm all
I mean,
like,
you could have.
who are these people? And
Yeah,
Well,
because remember,
maybe-
there's like a giant courtyard that has like vendors, so you could have grabbed food on your way to the graveyard.
Oh, yeah.
I thought we were stopping to eat like for a minute, so we.
Well, that's fine. You could also like have bought food and be sitting. There's a big fountain in the middle of this courtyard because it's like a hub area for commerce.
Okay.
Dungeon Master, question.
Yo.
If we stop and sit to eat our breakfast, does that count as a short rest? Would that allow us to kind of collect ourselves from our restless night?
I would say,
I mean-
considering the fact that you just woke up from an 8-hour sleep and you haven't used anything, it's kind of
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
You got your long rest. It just wasn't as peaceful as you normally would have. You don't
Okay.
feel as rested as if you'd slept a full night, but you slept a full night.
So I need to take 2 pipe hits before bed tonight
Okay.
out of the quarterstaff.
So I want to ask Lee. I'm gonna say like, hey, dude, like I don't understand what's going on with this death cult, and it sounds like you guys found something, and it just doesn't seem like we have all the information. Like, so what's going on here? Like,
So you guys are sitting around the fountain just enjoying breakfast, and you see a commotion across the courtyard as you see Rakk, who's a head above everyone else, and then shortly as they get closer, you see Lee in front of him.
Oh shit! So we're having breakfast and we see this go down.
Yep. I'm on my way.
You see
back
Lee
to the-
walking and Rakk kind of trailing after him a little bit, but following. You
That's
do note that Rack's got his club up here.
I do the
Ready for
Forrest
a
Gump
strike.
wave. Hey!
I nudge Autumn and I say, "Hey, look! There's the Minotaur and it's walking real fast after Lee, and he's got a big club."
Then I'll message Lee and just be like, "Hey, dude, like you said potato, but is everything cool with Rakk?"
I am me. I promise you this. Rakk is having a hard time understanding that.
Over that,
Ooh.
you hear in the back of your mind, "He's
Ooh.
mine. Get out!" And then you feel yourself kind of forcibly disconnected.
My God.
Okay, I'm gonna message my other two friends here,
Okay.
and Andronicus and wait, what's
Rensler.
Rensler. I'm gonna message them and be like, "Yo, dudes, like I was just talking to Lee, and there was this like really creepy disembodied voice that was like, he's mine."
How are you talking to him? He wasn't even around you.
Hands off, bitch! That's my man.
I'm like, we might have to slap
There
a
is
bitch.
no Lee.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
it seems to me like there's something serious going. I think we should follow the two of those guys and get to the bottom of this.
Cool. So then they like walk up, right? At this point,
Well, they're on their way to the graveyard, so I
Mhm.
think we would start
I
tailing
thought they were
them.
approaching us.
No, I'm headed
No,
to the
no, you
graveyard.
just see them. He's just kind of not directly walking to you, but in your general area, passing by.
So I want to recommend that the other two go ahead, and I'm gonna kind of like hang back and kind of like to like hide, but like observe what's happening from.
Okay.
Some roguelike distancing.
I'm just
You get
creeping.
a
I'm
real
sneaking.
quick, familiar tingling message in your head. Autumn saying, "Hey, go with him. I'll catch up."
I just kind of look back and I go, mm-hmm.
But I'm already gone.
And then I'm like, shit, she did it again. Rensler, let's go.
All right, woohoo!
And so
And I
then
start
we're off.
He backflips the whole way there.
All right, man. You can
Roll your dex.
backflip as long as you do it in the direction we need to go. So just keep backflipping this way.
What am I rolling?
You little
Roll
gymnast.
acrobatics with disadvantage.
Disadvantage? Come on.
If you roll a low one and you hurt your leg,
9.
No, because you're gonna twist your damn ankle.
Now you're doing cartwheels and backflips in a ever increasingly crowded market area.
No.
Whose kid did I run over? Because
You
I
rolled a 9,
9.
so see what happens.
You get 1, 2. You're starting to get on a roll. 2 women walk in your path, and you kind of tuck. You don't really hurt yourself, but you kind of slam into the ground, and it kind of knocks the wind out of you for a sec, trying to avoid them. Yeah, it's an older woman and presumably her daughter or her daughter-in-law. The old woman says, "You crazy layabouts, get off the ground!" and kicks you. Walks by.
And then I immediately get up and start backflipping once again.
All right, do it with disadvantage again.
Damn it. Acrobatics, come on. 19.
Hey.
I swear to God, roll 20s fucking rolls are broken.
You get going, and then you start making enough of a commotion, and people see you coming. They dart out of your way.
This stupid guy just boom, 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 just all the way down like Main Street.
They don't, at
At
this
least
point,
across
they
the
don't even
corner.
give a shit that there's a giant dragon man walking down the. They're
You
like,
don't
okay.
see a lot of dragonborns, but you're not the only dragonborn there.
I'm
Yeah.
like watching from afar, like, dude, I'm so glad I'm not being seen.
I'm the
That's
only one
crazy.
they've seen. The only one they've seen since last Christmas. Okay.
Last Christmas. What?
By the time you reach the far side of the thing, there are guardsmen, and one standing in front of you, holding up his hand, right in your line, or right in your path of your cartwheels.
Okay. Well, I'm either gonna
So
slow down or stop abruptly.
Yeah, you have enough time. You see him to react to stop yourself.
Okay. And then I come out of it, right? I just do a backflip once more and like, bah,
And then you stick the landing.
there it is.
He looks at you unimpressed. He goes, "It's a busy marketplace. You can't be doing all that jackassery."
What, are you upset because you can't do it? Bet you can't.
No, I'm upset because if you hit any of those people, I'm gonna clap you on the head with this cudgel.
You would enjoy this, yes?
Beating you in the head? Yeah, probably.
Man, it can be arranged. I like it. Just a little too much.
He doesn't react at all. He's like,
I shouldn't roll persuasion on that one to see if he gives in.
"No, go. You can roll persuasion." Now, what are you trying to persuade him of?
To hit him in the head.
No, that being hit in my head would be a very
That
funny
you would
time
enjoy
for
it?
me. Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
and I do 19.
The words come out of your mouth, and no sooner than you say it, a cudgel smacks you right across the mouth.
Damn it! What's a cudgel, like a blackjack?
Effectively, yeah.
Yeah.
You take 3 points of damage from getting smacked across the face.
In the face?
I'm almost ready to mage hand him in the back of the head.
He looks. He says, "It was good for you. Would you like another?" But completely deadpan the whole time, just kind of staring at you.
Maybe. Who's asking?
All right, roll dexterity save.
Would you like another one? Yeah. How'd that feel? Good. Do you want another? Yeah.
16.
You
Andy,
hungry?
do something.
All right.
You're expecting
gonna-
this time after his. You
I'm
realize
watching
he's
from
willing
afar,
to
just
smack
like-
you. He swings and you pull back just in time. Well, I thought you liked it. Don't move.
Hey, I like to play hard to get. Why don't you come smack me while I run away? Hey! And then I backflip. No!
Okay.
Can I?
Roll with disadvantage.
17.
Okay. So you get a good cartwheel going, and then one of the guards that's behind him bodily tackles you to the ground.
Damn it! Okay. Okay, I'll stop. I promise. I promise. Get off me.
Hold him there for a minute.
No, no,
That
Grandpa.
guy
Get off
walks
me.
off.
Get off me. So is he like is he wearing his like guardsman
Yeah, full
like,
armor.
full armor kilt and he's just sitting on me and just it's just bare skin to bare skin at this point, just real weird.
No, it's armored guy.
Can I come over and intimidate? And be like, "Yo, get
There's-
off my friend.
there's
He's an idiot, but we gotta get moving. So let us go
Okay.
and be on
Yeah,
our way."
you can try and. Or you intimidate the guard
The
that's laying on
guard?
him, or the.
Yeah, the one who's got
Okay.
him pinned down.
All right.
That's,
The strength check for a modifier.
No, intimidate.
Yeah.
so
strength on top of it.
that's. I rolled a 10. Or wait, no.
Oh, plus your charisma. That's my
Yeah.
bad.
Wait, oh fuck, that's the wrong dice. All right, 15 and 6 for intimidation.
21.
My charisma is 17.
Yeah,
So-
21.
They're like, what are you doing? Hmm.
The
Yeah.
guard who's just like laid out on top of Rensler goes, "All right, but if you want him to go, you're gonna have to help pick me up.
What?
I'm always a fuck ton."
He's like a turtle.
Yeah, he's for
All right,
whatever
can I-
reason. There's at least one guy in fucking full plate with the helm and everything. And now he's pinning Rensler to the ground.
Or no,
Can
that
I
was a
just lean
19.
down and with both hands pick him up and turn him upright on his feet?
Yeah, strength check.
Oh, I might shit
Wait,
myself
wait.
if I try.
Real
'Cause
quick, what's your strength?
Mine?
Strength for me is 12.
Yeah, go ahead, roll it.
19.
+1.
Okay,
20.
so you pick him up.
He
You start-
asked and I
you
I
start lifting-
delivered.
and it's a combination of him helping, like, and then you find that like it takes a few minutes. Lee and Rakk are far ahead of you now.
I'm following them.
Yeah, that's fine. But these two have been tied up by guards. When,
Rinsler's been tied up by guards. I've been sitting there being like, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Not true. He
Rensler-
started it.
when you when this full plate armored guard gets off of you, you're feeling battered and bruised. Like you didn't take any damage, but you feel like you got hit by, I don't know, a big guy wearing a suit of armor, and then he fell on top of you.
Great. Great. So I'm hunched over
Yeah,
laughing. Like,
The
man,
guard who is in the full plate looks at Andronicus and goes, so yeah, get him out of here. And he turns around and walks off.
how come
Yep.
nobody ever wants to have fun? I'm leaving.
Okay, and that's when I put my arm around Rinsler's neck and we start walking off in the direction of Autumn and Lee.
While you've seen Andronicus throw magic around, there's some unsettling moment where he's got his arm hooked around your neck and you feel the unnatural hardness of his dragon scale.
Is
Like,
that what we call it now? Unnatural
Unnatural
hardness of his dragon scale.
No,
well,
he
you
said
should
dragon
know
for a
scale.
fact that dragonborns have scales, but they're usually a little bit more pliable, almost flesh-like.
Look,
His
man, you're
have a hardness to them.
They're weathered, bro.
feeling pretty hard there. I don't know if
Yeah.
I should be afraid or turned on a little bit. How you
Well,
doing?
I've had to shed my skin quite a few times throughout my life.
Okay, so we cut ahead. Autumn, you're still trailing about 20 feet behind the other two. You see the commotion and you just kind of roll your eyes as you see Rensler get tackled as he starts backflipping again.
Good lord.
If once you get past this main courtyard, there's still traffic and everything, but it the farther you get from this main market area, the easier it gets to move. And then real quick, you're out of the gate. The doors to the city are open. The gates of the city are open. You can come and go as you please. You head straight to that graveyard if you want to.
Well, I'm
Alright.
just gonna follow them at a respectable distance, like kind of halfway, so I can kind of see what's happening behind me and in front of me. Just kind of
Okay.
keeping tabs on the situation, but staying hidden so no one can see me.
Okay, then roll stealth if you're trying to hide.
I got a 2
Yep.
Plus,
You're like a shadow.
plus
Nobody sees you.
3. Oops.
aren't you proficient in it too?
Yeah.
So what's your dexterity?
Plus
It'd just
3.
be +3.
+3. She's proficient in it. It's
Yeah.
actually +6.
Yeah,
So that
that's what I'm
2
saying.
is
Just
a
a plus another 3.
8.
Yeah. 5 plus 3. I got it. Yeah, she's a shadow, invisible. Nobody sees you. You've never been so stealthy in your whole life.
Is that one of the ones where it's like the lower the number, the better?
Nope.
No, she just believes that she's covered.
She's being as quiet as she can, and she thinks it's being effective.
But she's completely visible. Like,
There's some blind man who doesn't know she's passing by. That's about it.
Damn. And I thought Rinsler was bad, just cartwheeling through life.
where'd
You
she go?
as a matter of fact, you're so convinced of your stealthiness that you're passing through. At one point, you kind of get closer to the houses on the side of the street. A lady flips a rug that she's cleaning and sprays all over. She goes, "Oh, so sorry." That's the exact moment you realize, maybe I didn't do as well as I thought. But otherwise, like, nobody challenges any of you guys. You guys make it to the city gate.
All right. Well, I think we're just going to keep on following those two until we make it back to the graveyard.
Okay. Lee, Rakk, you're at the city gate.
I mean, I walk through. They'll let us through. If they
Yeah.
just walk through and continue to just the outside where that graveyard is.
Okay. You walk out, and it's much like you remember, except brighter, and you can see a little bit more detail than you would have the night before.
I want to go over.
Yep. Mhm.
And
Go ahead.
kind of look at the area where I was standing, where I got attacked, and see if there's anything in that ground or any like compressions or anything that I see.
You walk over to roughly where you think you were last night, and then you kind of see like there's a like a commotion happened, and then you can see like a depression where somebody was sitting.
So when I catch up, I want to walk over and be like, "You were here," and I want to draw it out. We kind of like pull my foot around it and draw it out, and be like, "You were here when we found you.
Okay.
You were Autumn, I believe is her name. Her pet was over here. Something had happened to it. It's not right. Still not right, I don't think.
Something attacked me here. Something attacked me. I couldn't see what it was. It was dark, and it was in a robe or a cloak. I can't.
Roll history.
Can I hear what he's saying from my hiding spot?
Yeah, you're at like the gate leading into the graveyard, and again, this is it's a low thing, so you're kind of just standing, peering over it, kind of the Kilroy thing.
I want to
The
describe.
conversation.
Yeah, I want to describe to him how we found him. He was
Okay.
face down on the ground. He was sweating heavily. He was practically dead. He was completely white. He had very little of a pulse, like all of it.
Okay. As you try and recall, like the second you start thinking about everything up to coming to the graveyard, you remember. And then you like, and I know I was in the graveyard, and then I was in the cell. Like the intervening steps you can't remember.
What intervening
You
steps?
You don't
Like how
remember.
you got from the cemetery to the cell.
No, like you don't remember going in. You went into the graveyard, but you don't remember praying to Noctim. You only vaguely remember that something happened to you. Being here should make it easier to remember, but the close here, you for some reason can't.
So I don't even remember walking to the graveyard.
No, you went in, but you don't remember what exactly you prayed. Like, you were coming here to pray to Noctim, but you don't know what you said to him. You don't know what he said back. You have a vague sensation that you talked to him.
Why wouldn't I remember that part? Because I already told him that happened when I was in the cell.
You told him that you talked to Noctim, but you don't remember what you said. You don't remember what his reply was.
No, I never said he replied.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You now.
Well, I don't even think he replied at all. What I was telling him was I was attacked by some creature that was...
Yeah, but you what I'm saying is you can't remember any of the details after getting into the graveyard.
Okay.
Like, certain things had to have happened, but you couldn't explain what exactly you did, what happened as a reaction to anything. You just know this is where you were last night.
Okay.
Can I try to peek into his mind and like communicate with him while I'm outside of it and he's inside of it to see like what's going on in his?
I mean, message lets you talk to him. It doesn't let you peer into his mind. Like, you could talk to him from the outside of the graveyard if you wanted to, but you can't actually look at his thoughts.
Maybe I message him and I'm like, hey, I'm just outside of the graveyard. I'm kind of keeping an eye on the entrance here. Like, how are things going so far?
You hear a very faint, almost whispery kind of, and you think it's Autumn, and then you hear this, don't listen to her, she's not out.
Shut the fuck up! Get out of my head! Ah! This is driving me crazy! And I just start beating the shit out of the tree, and I, like, hard. Like, that. Then I just start
Okay.
wailing on it.
Does
Ah!
the tree have damage?
Uh,
You have to
I
roll
would
on
like.
that?
Can I send a message to Lee as well?
You're not there yet. You guys just made it to the gate. It'll be a couple more minutes before you're in the scene.
And I'm just like wailing on it
Lee,
until my hands start to break down.
how many attacks do you want to make on the tree?
I'm just gonna do. I'll punch it twice.
Okay. Roll 2 attacks.
Tree's just gonna blow apart, double crit.
Effectively, yeah, that's what we're checking to see how much damage he does, if he crits on the tree or not.
No, I didn't.
I have
The first
something
one's
I
a
would
10.
like to try for him.
Second
Okay.
one's a.
If they're above 1, you hit.
Yeah, they're all above 1. They're no crits.
Okay. Roll your damage. Oh, we should also specify we're trying something a little different. The monk hit die is now a D8. Or no, it's your attack die for your unarmed strike.
Yep. So it's a D8. That's an 8. Yep. 8 and 5.
There's definitely a moment or two where you hear kind of splintering, like a cracking, almost splintering sound.
And I just fall to the ground and put my hands over my head, and I just kind of start rocking back and forth, and just kind of start rocking.
Okay.
And I just say, "I need help! Somebody get this thing out of my head!"
I want to cast deafness
Okay.
only.
What's the
Okay.
DC?
It's a con save to see if it stops whatever he's apparently hearing.
Uh, 19.
Okay, he saves.
That was almost cocked. I was waiting for it. Didn't cock.
You notice as the spell goes, it's almost like something pushing against your, trying to interfere with your magic, and you manage to get it off. But then you know the sensation of somebody just naturally making it past your effect. But there was definitely some pushing on you.
Would I know what that was that he was trying to deafen me?
No, you're just aware that something was trying to work magic on you.
Well, since Rack's the only one here that would really know how to do that next to the dragon guy, I'm just going to stand up and I'm say, "Hey, Rack, what did you just do?"
It appears that you have a visitor.
I do. It's in my head. It's a voice. It's.
Perhaps we need to go back to the cell for now.
I say, no. I don't think that's a good idea. I need to find somebody that knows more about this than I do. Putting me in a cell is going to do me no good.
You're on mute, Andy.
I was asking Shade, what is our ETA, me and Rinsler?
As you see him start wailing on the tree and just having this freak out moment, you guys walk up and you see Autumn kind of peeking over the into the graveyard.
Sneaky.
We
Can
walk
I-
up. I'm like, "You're not fooling anybody." Then I walk over to Lee.
I just want to yell out to Lee and say, "Hey, man, what's going on?"
What's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah,
And I'm
because
sitting
at this
there,
point, like, we got to get to the bottom of this.
sitting there after beating the tree up, looking at my hands are a little bloody. Kind of look up at you
Heart's a little abrasive.
and say, "There is something here with me. There's something inside of me that is calling to me, that it wants me to do things that are not me, that are not what I am. It is the exact opposite of anything that you've ever felt to be good, happy, or graceful. This is the opposite. It is dark. It is cold, yet nurturing.
So a
Like,
spirit is using you as a vessel.
As they're starting to come up, and before this all happens, after you're like, I'm not going to go back. I have to figure out what's going on. Then I can't help you, and I'm gonna like touch and bow. And whenever I bow, I'm just gone.
I see him disappear, and I was like, yeah, Rakk, makes sense. You're always disappearing, and whenever fucking people need you, you're never there. I don't know if he hears that or not, but next point. That's
At
impact.
this point, if we've shown up, I just blurt out, Lee, you got to tell us what's going on, man. We're seeing all kinds of different stuff, and we got to get to the bottom of this.
I just told you.
Yeah, I know.
Can I?
The Minotaur just disappeared out of thin air, and you're hearing things.
Yep.
Yes.
Can I like check the perimeter of this graveyard, or is this like a really big graveyard? Like how big?
While
is
you're
this?
hiding?
I mean, it's a big graveyard, but yeah, you can walk around it. It'll take you 10, 15 minutes.
Can I kind of scan the perimeter?
Yeah, what are you looking for?
I want to see if there's any other like entrances or exits or like any
Oh, yeah,
like that
you can.
symbol that we saw. Like I kind of want to look for that symbol and like see what it looks
Okay.
like, just because like we
Yeah.
haven't really looked around.
Now, you can see there's an entrance where you came in and one on the other side, because it is a fairly big place. So, like, there's like a north and south, basically. But if you want to, you can roll investigate to try and search the graveyard for that symbol. Or you can do what's called taking 10, which basically you take 10, 20 minutes and just really in-depth look around at stuff. If you do the 10 to 20, take 10 or 20, you're committing to that action and you do nothing else for that time period, but you don't have to roll.
Okay.
Eventually, the difference is: do you want to do this quickly or do you want to really take your time?
I want to do it quickly at first, just to look for that symbol.
Okay. Then we'll say you take 10. And you give it a real immediate area. You don't go over the whole graveyard, but you go like 20, 30 feet out, basically up to the wall in a circle from where Lee was. You don't see that symbol anywhere.
How far is that guards area from where we're standing? Like, would they have a clear view of what happened?
They could if they were out inspecting like wagons and whatnot, but being at night with the doors shut, they wouldn't have seen anything.
While I'm under that tree, I want to pull that book out and start looking at it again.
Okay. So there's like the journal kind of outlining conversation or somebody recounting of a conversation, the map, the first ritual, the map that now says the pilgrimage, the second ritual, and then another series of journals, and there's a third ritual after. And you look at it, and the third ritual seems like it would go to the end of this thin pamphlet.
What does it say?
Do you want the journal or the ritual?
Both. Let's do both.
Okay. The journal is to the effect of, when my love, my betrayed and hated counterpart, set me in this prison, a fragment of my essence escaped, and it roams seeking mortals that will worship to give me strength, to break me free of this prison. The devil sits upon me with his rod. And then the ritual is actually for the presence and the sensation that you feel. It's the welcoming. So the first one was the initiation, the contact. The second one is called the awakening. The third one is called the welcoming. And it's effectively you make some sacrifice of skill, ability, personal object, but something you would hate to lose. You make a sacrifice and then welcome the Dark Mother into your heart and soul.
I share that information with anybody that's around to hear it.
You give a real quick explanation of everything you've inadvertently done, and then we'll start explaining this third ritual.
I'm like, I don't know what to do. Something needs to get this out of me. And I don't know who. I don't know what the next step is, and I refuse to make any sacrifices on this thing's behalf.
Can I message the spirit?
Roll Arcana. Arcana or religion, whichever one will do you the better. Lee, I'll say this. You have noticed that it's now 9 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And the present seems to be receding.
I got an 8 plus 2, so 10.
So what was it?
Huh?
Which skill did you use?
I used Arcana.
Okay. You're trying to think, and while magic's kind of a part of your deal, you're not per se a studied person in magic. Do you think it's possible you could maybe contact, instead of Lee, whatever, if there's a spirit or something attached to him, you might be able to contact it?
Can I try to do that?
Okay. What do you say?
Yeah.
What do you say?
I want to ask it what it. Well, yeah, I want to ask it what it wants.
There's like it's winter and the sun's out and it gives just enough warmth, and then the clouds pass over and you go ice cold. You have this sensation as something replies. It's almost nebulous. It doesn't feel like it's coming from any one direction so much as it's coming from everywhere. And it says, I want to welcome you. Open your heart to me, child. And it says these almost welcoming, kind things, but it's like, as it's saying it, it's raking nails down your back. Your skin crawls and your mind kind of,
I want to ask it, who am I being welcomed by?
Mortals now call me the Dark Mother.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell our friends here that I've contacted the Dark Mother, and she's saying that she wants to welcome, but her welcome feels like needles down your back, so maybe not the kind of welcome we want to participate in.
That is in me. That.
And I'm gonna.
Lee, what did you welcome? You must have done something.
Autumn.
It's called the Dark Mother. We just told you that.
No, I know, but I'm saying
hear.
You must have done something. You did something to appease and welcome this spirit into your body.
You remember from the pamphlet as you described it, the contact, is just kind of making yourself aware and open to her presence. Autumn, without messaging, you hear a voice, and you feel an almost claw-like grip on your shoulder. It goes, I will be with you, child. I will never forsake you.
So it's still doing that even though I'm not in the graveyard?
Oh no, you've made yourself known to it. You've inadvertently completed the first ritual, which is initiation. Lee, you feel the lips press against, and it a little bit less rough, more bordering almost on gentle. You've brought me another one.
Shut
What
up,
a
you
wonderful
sow!
child.
Leave me alone. We want nothing to do with you. I forsake you. I spit on you. Pfft. There's only one God for me to Subnoctum. You are nothing to me.
Can
You
I
just
resist
randomly hear.
charms?
You randomly hear Lee just start ranting in this diatribe.
But
Autumn, roll insight.
20.
You realize it's not a charm effect. It's whatever's going on. It's talking to you. Are you a particularly religious character?
No.
You vaguely get the sensation of like when your parents on feast days and whatnot would make you do like the harvest rituals and whatnot. It feels almost like it's forced upon you, but you get a sensation of religious fervor, or there's a religious component to what's happening now.
Is it about time for those clerics / that mage dude to be back?
No, at this point it's like 9 in the morning. They'll still be out helping people wandering the town till after lunch.
All right.
You hear a commotion on the road behind you as you see like a procession of some sort going in to the town. It's about 20 some odd armored men in livery colored of Lord Orenthane. But there's a man at the front who's wearing armor, but he's got like almost like a younger look of Orenthane leading them in.
Does it look
And
like,
the gate
like
guards
they're
kind of throw
related?
up. Yeah. If you didn't know better, you would think that this was Orenthane 20 years ago.
So like his son, his offspring or something?
Maybe, yeah. You hear like a huzzah as the gate guards welcome this companion group coming back in.
Interesting. I'm gonna kind of watch them as they come through, kind of creep on them a little bit.
You see him talking with the gate captain, and then I'm sorry, the watch captain, and then he like as people are streaming through, even some of the commoners seem to like stop and give greetings. Whoever's leading them is very warm, very open. Kind of sits up, stretches, and says something, and gets a little laughter going from the people, and kind of looks around, sees this group off in the graveyard. He goes,
I want to approach one of the people. They're kind of just captivated by this person and ask them who he is.
As by the time you get over to the gate, they've ridden on into the city, and you hear more cries as they go farther down the street. The watch captain looks at you and says, "It is our lord's son. He was not supposed to be back for several months. Meant to be out taking care of some bandits somewhere I on the other side of the mountains, I think. But he's back for whatever reason."
Perhaps they were successful.
Bandits, and I'm sitting there for a minute. Now, introspectively, does that have anything for my perspective to do with the bandits that we beat up?
No, because you beat up guys farther to the south, and it was a small bandit group.
Okay.
He mentioned the north side of the mountains.
Okay.
I assume bandits. I don't know the exact nature of his expedition, but it's typical.
Can you tell me if there, and this is me talking to the guardsman, I was like, can you tell me if there is a temple of a god of death, or at this point, anything? I need some guidance.
Um, difficult running around. Not a whole lot of death gods welcome right now.
And I was like, do not speak to things of which you not know of. This has nothing to do with the death cult. One can definitely be a following of death and have nothing to do with the death cult.
I don't know. I know. I'm not saying, but like they read the lay of the land with there were incidents early on, and frustrations were taken out by the common folk. So they aren't really, and there are clerics and priests in the village in the town, but they're not to the likes that you're speaking of. As a matter of fact, all the burial details have been turned over to the Temple of Life.
Can you tell me where that's at?
It's actually a very nice church. You walk in, and he points down the circling wall. It goes, if you go that way for about 20-minute walk, it kind of opens up into a little plaza, and there's a temple, very nice white marble veneer on the outside, hard to miss.
I start making my way over there.
All right, good luck.
All right, we're just following you, Chamber.
I'm
Lee.
following further behind.
I always stay in the back because I'm an archer. So
That sensation, Autumn, of somebody whispering, you still have the sensation, and it's making you a little paranoid, like somebody's right behind you.
I'm gonna kind of turn around in my tracks and look at Autumn and see that she looks perturbed. I'm like, what's wrong?
When you initially turn around, there's somebody behind her,
And then gone.
and then you kind of blink, and then there's nobody there.
I like
But
see him react, and I'm like,
it's a
dude, did you
spark.
just see that? Is there someone behind me right now? I'm going
There's
crazy.
a spark. While you can't recall details, it looked like this shadowy kind of figure, like an indistinct humanoid shape. From the
Autumn,
night
what
before.
happened? What happened?
Ask Autumn. I was like, are you hearing voices?
Yeah, I feel like there's someone like following right behind me.
Can you describe this thing's intention, what it feels like?
She said she was the Dark Mother, and
I put my hand
that
up.
she...
I'm like, did you talk to it?
Yes.
Step 1. Step
So
2.
we should notify the rest of the party not to speak to it, because that's step 1.
I would agree, but I don't know if they have much choice. I'm warning you right now. At this point, don't pray.
I don't pray anyways.
Lee, roll religion.
Dude, 9.
No, that's good enough. You know, as you've several times repeated the prayer in your head, it's not specifically that you can't pray. It's don't pray to death. Any kind of death. Because again, the line about the dark hunger, you have recalled where Noctum has been in like verbiage referred. So, not don't pray, just don't pray to any of the death gods for a little bit.
No, I say don't pray, period. Because then you win no matter what. I'm aware
There's
of what
a strange, vague sense of disapproval.
From who?
I don't know.
In general, it's like in the atmosphere.
No. This is specific to Lee.
Oh, to Lee. Okay. So what did he actually say to me? You said don't pray.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Have we caught up yet?
Oh, you guys are all walking together. The only person that's not there is
All right, good.
Rakk.
So I'm over here going, all right, we're not supposed to initiate. Rinsler, do you get that?
Yes.
Don't go cartwheeling some thing into your life.
Thanks.
So-
Nice analogy, Dad. Thanks, man.
I'm just looking out for you.
So what's our plan as we approach this cathedral of life, or whatever this thing is, church
After-
of living people?
After this increasingly tense atmosphere, as you realize Autumn's now experiencing, to a lesser degree, what you were experiencing, you kind of turn. You don't really turn a corner, but you come around the corner of a building, and there's almost a circular area with a little white marble veneer building. It's only a single story, and it's about 80 feet wide by about 100 feet long. And there's a golden, no, I'm sorry, there's a brass hanging placard with sheafs of wheat and carved in.
Cool. I'm gonna try to find somebody that looks like they know what's going on around here. Somebody that works around the church. Somebody dressed up.
Is there somebody who works here?
As you approach, you see robed figures kind of walking around, but not so much they're avoiding you, but they have business. They kind of just drift off. But you see an older-looking, almost pot-bellied gentleman with the bald head with long fringe down to his shoulders, and a long kind of goateed, well-kempt, sitting on the stoop of the temple, smoking a pipe.
I want to approach him.
Oh, good morrow to you, young'un. You've look a frightful face.
I look at him in his face. I'm like, I need help. And I just kind of drop to my knees and put my hands to my side.
Oh, no, lad, that's surely not that bad. What bothers you all?
There is something.
Something in his head, man.
A dark presence about you.
I say a dark presence is an understatement. Oh, he's
You
puffing.
see, he points with the pipe to the placard hanging above him. The sheafs of wheat are a sign of my god, and it's a god of life and the harvest. Shantae. But she's he kind of chews the end of his pipe and
Bilbo.
it's like she's being muted. Like if you were to paint a beautiful masterpiece and then go over it with black and dull out the colors. Like she's there, but it's like trying to look at the sun through a cloudy day.
That seems to be an ongoing thing in this town. I too was experiencing that when I've got here, but it seems this situation has been exacerbated.
Whoa, and what have you done?
We have, and by we, I mean my party, and now it's no longer just me, it is also. And I point over to.
You see him trying to blow smoke rings.
Autumn.
He's listening.
And I point over to Autumn. We have unintentionally, and I don't even know how because it doesn't even make sense whether it's wanted or not. This entity has tied itself to me and is trying to tie itself to her. She calls herself the Dark Mother, and she talks to me, and I can't get her out of my head. Now I know that I am not a follower of your god, and I mean no disrespect, but I am a follower of a death god, and without life there can be no death, and vice versa. So I feel that we can have some type of understanding here, because I need help.
I mean, you're not wrong. The wheat that grows is the dead offal of a plant that lived. the seed from before. But that plant has to die. So, I mean, you're not wrong. We prefer, well, some of my order would be far more zealous in their arguing. But, you're right, it's a cycle. He blows smoke rings again.
I want to ask him if he's experienced or
Oh,
seen
no, look
this
at
kind of
you,
thing
you're a
before.
short little thing, aren't you? Are you a girl, or are you just a shorter folk?
Both. Have you seen anything similar to this around here?
Coming to the temple now. He kind of gets up and grandfatherly ushers you all in. And it's kind of Catholic churchy. There's pews that go all the way to the front and an altar in the front. He's like, hey, just make yourself comfortable here.
I
You
kind
see,
of want to stay near the door. Like, I don't want to roam.
oh, yeah, that's fine. These pews in the back are fine. And he plops down on one, like unceremoniously. An officious, like, big rimmed glasses guy comes in and is about to yell at somebody about smoking in the temple, looks at the old man and just turns and walks off. Gives a little huff.
I'm gonna ask him like where he and when he kind of affected people. Like, where did it begin, and like what he knows about that.
You mean the dark presence here?
Yeah, like where has he seen that kind of spring from?
I couldn't. I've been here and it's been here for a while, and it's unfortunate.
How
It doesn't really
long?
seem to affect the harvest.
How long?
2-3 years back now. Ever since there's a big congress, they got together to debate the nature of evil. I actually went to it. It was fun until that lightning storm that fell in the prison started.
So there was some kind of conference about good and evil, and then there was a lightning storm, and something happened at a.
Ah, that's about the short of it.
What happened at the
No,
conference?
it has to do with this dark mother person being. There's a misshaped dwarf woman that they talk of being in cahoots with all this nonsense, and they say that she is a prophet or some highfalutin type person. But I've talked to the man in the prison, the young cinder soul boy, and he says she was not but a wee dwarven woman, and that she had a bone wand, but apparently it had a dark influence on it. So I don't know. What I was speaking of, not specifically this, but I have heard of entities where you inadvertently do something and it attaches to you. Not it has to do with intention, not specifically directed at any one source.
How do you defend against these things?
Well, for starts, you don't mess with things you don't understand. That's in general a good rule. Oh, sorry, not to time. I'm sorry. Um, I suppose some sort of exorcism might work, but it's beyond the humble of a parish priest as myself.
Do you know anyone who could help us with that?
Oh, I'm sure you could find in the Neverwinter or Waterdeep, some of the more priestly, higher type peoples.
Do you have a name, somebody that we could go search for specifically?
I know, but if you go to a temple, like in a major city, a big temple, and you schedule an appointment with the head of the temple, you'd probably be all right as rain.
So are they experiencing these issues with the Dark Mother like throughout the land and not just this one area?
I mean, there are there's a
Oh
frightened
shit.
there's
You
a
just took
fright
a fast break.
There's a frightful lot of these rumors and people having trouble with the death cult all around. So yeah, I'm sure they'd have part of it by now.
So it wouldn't be attached to the graveyard?
No, as I not say no. Lord Ornthane likes to tell everyone ever so often. As a matter of fact, probably do one that when you feel the presence stronger, it means that more of these cultist type folk are around and to take cares. Yeah, and like it comes and goes. There's always kind of that film in front of the gods that aren't this dark matron.
Is there any way to defend yourself against people?
Against cultist?
Yeah,
Do you-
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, good armor and a sword.
I want to ask about the person he mentioned in the
Oh,
the cells.
young Cindersoul.
Cindersoul? Did we talk to Cindersoul and Andronicus? Andronicus. Did we speak to Cindersoul?
No, you have heard mention of Orlash, and you've heard mention of one prisoner. But any conversations that happened with Orlash were before you guys showed up.
Okay, I want to ask.
But Lee, you know that when the priest mentions young Cindersoul, he means Orlash.
Okay.
Okay.
He means Orlash.
Oh, thanks.
That was his first name, right?
Orlash is his first name. His surname is Cindersoul.
I'm sorry, I tuned out. What happened? What have
Where-
you been talking about?
Where are my girls at?
Right here.
She's
Thank
been
you. Hello.
asking
Hi.
if there's
What's
any way,
up?
like, how would
I look
one
around
break
and I'm like, wake up, people! There's a death cult. I like kick over a chair.
Ah! Oh, you're so cute when you're mad.
no, hey, no.
I'm possessed. Out of my mind. Wake
Fucking
up.
death call.
You know, there's one thing I can do. Come. He beckons you closer.
I'm like sick of this. I'm like asking all these questions. Where's everybody?
He waves. He waves Autumn. I was like, Autumn, you little one, come over.
I'm like exasperated, but I kind of like drag my heels over, like.
He flicks you right in the forehead. No, don't make a mess of my temple. I understand you're having a tough time, but don't mess up my house just because.
I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just like,
Go pick up the chair now. What are you doing?
I do it and I apologize.
I'm gonna walk
Alright.
over to Autumn, and I'm just gonna kind of sit down right next to her, and I'm just gonna kind of look at her.
No, if you know the steps that you've took to get this thing's attention, don't do any more of them. If you haven't gotten its attention, don't do anything to get its attention. But
The next step is to give up something that you care very much about, and that, from what I can tell, is the third and final step. It's written in this book that only I seem to be able to read at this point. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I hold the book up to Autumn, and I show it to her.
I try to look at the book.
You see the first couple pages are now filled in, then the map, and then you see the second page with the prayer.
I'm like, so, and I'm just like, holy crap. The more that you do pertaining to this ritualistic bitch, the more we can...
Oh, a house of worship, if you mind.
Sorry, I apologize, sir. This ritualistic evil
But bitch is the right word. No, bitch would be the right word. Not just
okay.
out in the street, no.
Is there a way that anyone in our party can test the like object and see if it's like connected to the connection that it has with our brains? Like, can anyone inspect objects?
No, but I can tell you right
Um,
off the
aren't you?
bat, as you're questioning it, the more that we fall in line with this Dark Mother, the more of this journal we can read. So that have to be tied to each other.
Lee, you know from your meeting with the cultist that the initial handing, they gave you this pamphlet. And when you first got it, it was full.
Yeah.
And then when you resisted, it seemed to go blank, except for the map.
And the more we give into it, the more we can read this. So I don't know what the next step is.
Do we want to
than-
protect it or destroy it?
I don't think that it's going to matter what happens at this point because we already know what the next steps are.
Well, if you're worried about that book, I'll take it and burn it for you.
No.
Don't let him burn it.
Who is this man? I don't know.
I would tell you, no, keeping it might be a temptation that you don't even realize. So I won't take it from you if you don't want to, but I wouldn't keep it if I were you.
I'm like, I'm gonna kind of look at it. I'm like, well, I already know what the next step is, and I don't think. I'm like, and I'm sitting there for a minute. I was like, how do we know that if we don't give this to burn, that it is some random step that's going to seal our fate with leading to our demise? This whole situation is it's driving me insane, man. I don't know what to do, sir.
I tell you what you do. First things first, go get you a stiff drink. Second, don't do any more evil dark rituals out of your book.
You're missing the point that they're getting done without our knowledge.
No, I guess you didn't hear. I was telling your no, not specifically, but I've heard of entities that give a vague, you make a general approach to things, and it's more ensnaring that way. So it's not unheard of. But I would say, if you can read that book, because it's not but blank pages except for that picture.
Mm-hmm.
What does the last step say?
Like I told you, you have to give up something that is important to you, something that you hold precious.
But there's got to be more to it than just giving something up.
I open
If
it
I
up.
throw and you reread it, and it says, make a sacrifice of something loved, and welcome the Dark Mother with open arms, heart, and soul.
I tell him
So
the
it's like a
exact
soul
the
stone?
exact text.
Well, so see, no, these are the first two are bothersome, and it builds a connection. But the third step is really the meat and potatoes, if you will. No, that's
Potatoes.
where you.
He's at potatoes.
He's at potatoes. He's good.
Trust him.
Oh, all right. Well, good then. Because the third step there, no, is willingly given something. The first two are vague; they could happen. You're aware of her, yeah, talk to her, you get her attention somehow. Now this one's where it becomes real. This is a symbolic gesture, the sacrifice. You give something that you love, a part of yourself, to make a hole for her to come in. No, it's a little bit different in most other religions, but it's not unheard of to have this sacrifice to create a cavity spiritually for your god to take root in.
So my question to you is, how is it possible, let alone does it even make sense, that when you are praying to an entity that you put your passion and heart into, she can kind of just slide on in, assume that you're talking to her, and just own that? That doesn't even make sense to me.
Well, no, I don't. I'm not drawn, but you mentioned life in there, so you worship a death god,
Yes.
all right? And you say she's no but a dark entity, what they call her, the Dark Mother. So I'm assuming if she's not evil, she's of some darker aspect.
Right.
And as he says that, you remember in your mind that you know for a fact, because you're now tied stronger to the Dark Mother, that whatever else she is, she's at least a god of death.
All right.
Well, so if she's of a darker aspect and you make a prayer to something of a darker aspect, again, them being general is meant to ensnare you. I've read stories and tell of genies that give you your wish, but they leave little hooks, vague and small looking things until they're right in your belly,
Right,
and
but
you're torn up by its trickery.
trickery is one thing, but outright just twisting and contorting what one believes and feels doesn't make sense. It's a false god. It's false. It's not real.
Well, it's false to you, but to others, Noctum's a false god because they've got but one god.
True, very true. But when you're addressing your god, it doesn't make sense how one can slide in and say, "Oh, hey, thanks for talking to me." Doesn't really make sense. It's false. It's bogus. It's twisting something in order to make something come to reality that's non-existent.
Well, no. Again, this has to do with sharing an aspect with something. You can't worship half a god. Like, when you worship a god, you're kit and kith for the whole thing. Now you don't have to practice the aspects you don't like, but it's still all tied to that same god.
Kith and kin.
Step forth your evidence of kith and kin.
So it's like that, leaving it vague and a prayer to death of some sort, just enough overlap to talk to another. It's possible you talk to all the other death gods and you just don't realize it because they ignore you because you're talking to Noctum
So then, how do we
or
get rid of whatever is
whoever you
already
worship.
putting its hook in us? How do we get rid of it?
Or
At this
I
point?
told her you might try an exorcism, but it's not for the likes of me. You had to go to Neverwinter, or back down to Waterdeep and talk to one of the head priests there. Maybe they can help you, but it's not for me.
I think that's what we need to be doing. We need to be getting on the road to go check out one of
But
these exorcisms.
If we go back,
if she's a false god, as you say, well, there are. Do you know warlocks? They have powers, right?
yes,
But they make a bargain for them. That's how it works.
right, they're pacts. Yes.
So, right, exactly. So in essence, the being they make a pact with has its own power, but you worship or you make a pact with it, it gets more powerful and you get to share that power.
Right.
So maybe breaking the cult, we concern she fades away.
Where do you?
I mean, the present here is not but strongest when there are more cultists around. So you get rid of maybe some of them cultists, or they go away. You maybe she fades from your noble.
So we've already taken out not one sect but two sects at this point. We need. Who could we talk to that might have an idea where the third sect is?
Lord Ornthaine's working on all that. I heard tell there's some fanfare by the gate. One of the younger acolytes just came by. He said his son's come back. Maybe they've got news.
All right, let's go talk to them.
Where I the best of luck to you, and you're welcome to come sit and talk with me.
As they all start turning around, I'm gonna hand him the book to burn.
And I want to be like, hey, thank you. What's your name?
Oh, I'm sorry, I have not introduced myself. Father Giles,
Father Giles.
the priest of the temple.
Father Giles. What is my dad's name?
Father J. Giles Band.
And I want to hand him the book and tell him to burn it.
Okay, are you trying to sneak it?
Yes.
All right, sleight of hand with advantage because you're waiting till everyone's turning and going.
That is a boop-boop-a-doo. That's an 18 or 17. 17.
Boop boop a doo is not a
There's a
legitimate number.
bobble on Father Giles's turn because he's like it's so smooth he doesn't really. You turn around. Anyone that turns around sees him and they think he's fiddling with his pipe, like he almost dropped it. Best of luck to you, no.
But I turned around to
Yeah.
ask for his name, so do I see it?
Roll perception.
Huh?
Roll perception.
Oh. Oh no.
Goodbye.
And they
There's
run
a-
away.
11 plus. They're just 11.
Okay, no, you miss it. You think he's just like he started to drop his pipe and he caught it.
Damn it.
As we're walking back, I go up to Autumn and I say, I left the book with him.
What?
I'm like, I know. I'm like, but I see it like this. I would rather leave this book in the hands of somebody that is realistically the opposite of what we're dealing with, that, for the lack of a better word, we can trust, than this book fall into the wrong hands and get more followers of this bitch that I want nothing to do with.
But what if he's a part of the death cult or something?
Then we'll go back and kill him too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, we
Rat,
don't
your
know
vulture
when he's gonna
sees
burn
and kind
this
of gets doesn't like understand the whole context, but it kind of hears, and the second they start walking, he starts flapping his way back to you.
Oops.
Excuse me.
Okay, so you guys are heading back to the manor and the barracks.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Rakk, by the time you make it back to the barracks,
Mhm.
you're just kind of hanging out there by yourself. Your vulture flies off to follow and keep tabs.
Mhm.
You hear about the fanfare of a bunch of horses and armor and men kind of scuffling out of the way, but then like huzzah, huzzah, as a mounted troop rides in.
As I see them start coming up, I want to go ahead and like pull myself back into like a corner or somewhere obscured from sight, and I want to go ahead and disguise myself.
Okay. You kind of dip into your barracks for a few minutes, come back out as a Goliathine human.
Mhm.
You see a younger version of Lord Orenthane. The features are a little bit different. The chin and jawline aren't as wide and lanterny. The nose is a little bit softer.
I want to not run up because I don't want to be threatening, but I want to walk up toward it and be like, "Hello, my lord." Start assuming it's Lord Orenthane.
You initially easily mistake it for Lord Orenthane, but as you get closer, this is a much younger. This isn't just like he seems like he's having a real spry day. This is a younger person that has very similar features to Lord Orenthane. On your approach, and the horses are starting to be led off by grooms, and the men are jovially talking to the guys that are drilling in the courtyard. Danielle is there talking with the younger man, and he's kind of notices you coming to. Oh, my lord, this is one of the new people who has come to help with the death cult. This is Rakk. Rakk, this is Gilden Thane.
My apologies. I had thought you were your father.
He
I was
reaches
seeking
up and
audience.
claps you on the reaches up and kind of claps you on the shoulder. He goes, It's not the first time. He's fine.
What did you say his son's first name was? Gildan?
Gildan.
Gildin. Gildin.
Gildan. So
It is fine, big friend. You are large. Do you have Goliath in you? Is it Goliath blood?
It's not human.
Daniel leans over and says, he's very sensitive, my lord, about his appearance. He is what you call a minotaur. Gildan goes, really? Says, you minotaur with everything?
I want to take his hand and like in my disguise, I'll go ahead and like pull
He
his
kind of
hand
goes up
up
on his
and
tiptoes like, no shit. Oh, it's very good.
for
No, I understand, to blend in. Less panic. I bet you caused quite the startle coming in.
a small one. We do have an issue. My companion was attacked by something in the cemetery. My
Oh. So, and he turns to look at Daniel, like, ghouls? Are there zombies and ghouls around again? Uh, no, this was, how you say, to do with the death cult, but not specifically with the cultists themselves or their minion. It is a function or some sort of magical attack, I think. A spirit, perhaps.
would I know if it was a proximity thing? Like if it was a there has to be some kind of thing close to that area for this to have that much of an influence.
Um. Yeah. Roll religion, real quick.
Sure. 17.
17. No, you don't think it's proximity. You think it's some sort of ritual type thing, like had he been elsewhere and done the same thing, it probably would have still happened.
So it was him. It wasn't something.
It wasn't the location.
influencing. Okay. Have you seen anything on your way back into town? This was very.
My father had sent us up to the north of the mountain to look for more of the cultists to try and find out how they get in and out. Killed a few, yeah, but nothing significant. The closer we got to town, the stronger we feel this, and it's still pretty bad here.
Agreed. Could you accompany me? There's a building I would like to show you. It was some form of meeting place.
Yeah, sure. Daniel, tell my father I am investigating with Rakk here, and we will be back in a bit.
So are we
And
all along with you guys?
no, you guys are walking back from a different part of town.
Okay.
Rakk is now leading Gildenthane off. He goes, so, where are you from? Because you're very, like, your accent's very different from local.
But not local. I have been in many places.
Oh, a drifter? Nomad?
From what I can remember. I try not to remember before.
Oh, apologies. Please, lead the way.
So taking to the house where the cultist dude had taken
Yeah.
us in and the door had shut.
The old artificer's shop.
Yeah.
It still looks like a plain wooden door on the outside.
Knock on the door, speak the passcode, and have the door swing open and show him in.
what was the passcode though?
Really?
Yep.
It's been like 4 weeks.
I
No, it's
actually
fine.
have it written down.
Yeah, I did.
I believe it was
Yeah.
Piccadilly
It's
Flies.
Piccadilly
Yeah.
Flies.
Yeah, that is correct.
I'll give you that in game it was a couple days ago, so you say it and the door swings up and says, Piccadilly Flies? What a strange phrase. He just, not like in a get out of my way, he just kind of walks in ahead of you.
Cultists we had met nearer to Waterdeep led us here to try to
This body on the floor who stinks to the high heavens.
Carried that body
yes.
out. I thought he
We
carried
did.
that
Did
body
you?
out. Yeah, a long time
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
on the
sorry.
shoulder.
Yeah, we took him.
Okay. Well, is
Um,
this stain on the floor then?
There was a man who was trying to coerce us to join the cult, as it were. They had captured me closer to Waterdeep, and
I think the words have gotten around because nobody seems to have come back to this place. Otherwise, we would probably not have gotten in. They would have changed the word. But yes, this is a place.
it makes me
There are
wonder if
not.
there
So,
might be more.
well, I would say there are probably other meeting places, but probably not like these. There are actually fairly few abandoned buildings in here, and most of them get checked by the civil patrol so often now, which is unfortunate because it means that there are um, agents in the city, which is unfortunate. It's kind of dark in here, isn't it? The
Given
only
that
light is.
Given that it's a death cult and my ties to that kind of realm, is it any do they use undead, or is it just they want to kill everything, and undead aren't really a factor?
You haven't, from your experience and when you were captured by them, it's all kind of foggy because they were drugging you, but you don't remember ever seeing undead.
Okay.
And you get a sense that they're not opposed to it, just maybe these guys didn't have access to it.
That's right. I just thought that somebody higher up might want to see. You seem to be more active in a role than your father. No offense intended. I know he's a bit
No, if I had my father's job, which unfortunately I will at some point, I'd probably put the crossbow bolt through my own head. I couldn't imagine sitting here all day dealing with the whiny pamperedness of the court. That is my personal hell.
I'll motion back for the door. Yeah, after you, sir.
Okay. And he goes up and the door is shut. How do there's no handle?
I'll do the same thing and keep the door open and then motion for him.
Oh, clever. That way, if you don't know, you aren't paying attention, you can't get out. All right. Yes. Well, you guys are walking back. He just strikes up light conversations, trying to get a gauge. He's like, do you like to garden? Do you tend to, are you a hunter?
I tend to spend my time more out of the city for obvious reasons.
That's where I like to be, out in the wilds. Yeah, it's a good place. I've never been one for like this. Is nice to come back to have a good meal, put up your feet for a few days, repair your armor, and then go right back out.
Rakk just kind of checks out and it's just like giving him the one word answers and just not really engaging.
And he's not perturbed. He's still trying to get you to engage.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is the weirdest thing on the way in. There was a butcher and his mother who were arguing about whether or not she had bedded a minotaur. You haven't been canoodling people in the town, have you?
Just kind of look at him and like, I want to go ahead and just drop the appearance at the time.
So you look like a minotaur again?
I'm back to looking at him and I don't believe any woman would be into that here, and keep walking.
I don't know. They're very straight laced on the surface, but there's the party animals underneath. Trust me, I've seen my few.
I'm gonna start walking a little bit faster, trying to get ahead of it.
The only thing that you really notice, like the build's right for his father, the facial features are slightly different, and you can see this creeping tattoo up on his neck. That's
Okay.
Otherwise, those are the face and the tattoo are the only things that really mark him as different from Oren Thane.
Okay. How old?
Late 20s, early 30s.
Okay.
So, has my father been hospitable? Because sometimes he's not the most gracious of hosts.
Yes, absolutely. It's been
Well, this is a thing we argue about, that and this tattoo on my neck. He hates the damn thing, and I love it because it drives him mad. You've got very long legs. You slow it down, please, a little bit.
I apologize. You know, I'll slow down and just kind of humor him, but
After a few minutes, he stops trying to engage you in small talk, and he's just like, people lean out and talk to him, and eventually she's like, "It's fine. Go. I'll catch up at the manor." By the time Rat gets back, you guys are all back too.
So are we like in the square?
You can be wherever you want. Anywhere you want.
You're muted.
What? No, he's not.
No, not.
I was.
so
He was
when I walk
muted.
in, do I
Oh,
see
Andy
him
was okay.
Oh,
in the area when I walk in?
Hmm.
Do I notice Lee with them when I walk in?
Yeah, I mean, he's not trying to hide. Are you trying to hide, Lee?
No?
I, so when I walk in, I see them over there. Kind of look and I see Lee, and I'll turn around and I'll just kind of walk back to the gate.
I shake my head.
We need
Danielle
to figure
comes
out.
over. Say, Lord Orenthane would like to invite all of you, and is Rakk going back out? All right, well, tell him that you're all invited. Lord Orenthane's son and Rakk has met the young lord, Gildan Thane, to sup tonight.
I tell him straight up, I was like, tell him yourself, you're a big boy, and I just make my way to the meeting.
Oh, this is most unfortunate. Is everything all right?
I
It's
don't even
very
acknowledge
rude.
it. I just keep walking.
No, he's not talking to you because you've walked off.
Alright, cool.
It's not okay. He's not okay. Shouldn't be out walking around.
So Andronicus, Rinsler, and Autumn, Danielle's in talking to you. Is it all right between them? He's very short for some reason. And Oren, I'm sorry, Rakk, just turned around and walked off. I thought they thick as thieves, as you say.
I don't know if
they all got a lot going
they
on.
got a little issue. It happens to the best of us.
Fair, fair. I've seen my share of soldiers that have the tension, and then they get the drinks, and everything gets better.
Yeah.
But anyway, dinner tonight with
Jack.
the Lord and his son. So
Jack,
I will
no.
see you then. Oh, if Lee is looking for the clerics, I think the house temple is where they will be. Just past in the west garden, not the door into the study, but the next one down leads to the small temple sanctuary.
Jack, no.
All right, I will have things to attend to, and I will see you all later.
Fantastic. See you later, buddy.
Jack, no.
Is he getting into trouble?
Damn it,
Yes.
Jack!
Cat's talking back. Did you hear him? Jack, no.
I know he doesn't listen.
He's-
He doesn't.
As
A
they
real jerk.
they come out, I ask Autumn, did he say anything about those clerics that I requested?
No, he didn't mention them. He was just asking, like, what's up with the two guys.
Can I roll a deception check on that?
Wait,
I
did he
wouldn't.
say something?
Yeah, he
I would
said.
maybe ask somebody who
Oh,
hadn't
that's not
walked away.
fair. It was Jack.
Oh, she. All right, okay. That's true.
Ask
I didn't think.
Andrew.
I'll ask Andronicus. That's a valid point.
You
I'm
asked the question.
sorry.
You asked the
Jack.
question to her specifically, but Andronicus answers, and he says,
Thank you.
I just put my head down and
You
I just
alright?
walk back to him and I just ask him
Wait.
myself.
he says
You're
that
happy
the
with the
clerics are
clerics?
in, that the clerics have returned, and that they are in the door in the West Garden past this study is where you'll find them.
Excellent.
They're in
I
one of
say
those
to
squares,
Autumn
right?
that we should probably go over there and speak to them before we go to this dinner meeting. It might
We
benefit
need
us.
to talk to them.
Jack.
What is he doing?
He's grabbing my cord and trying to pull my computer away.
Hey, Legend, how are you, buddy?
Hey,
That
pay
was
some
his
attention
tail.
to me, Mom.
Jeez.
Let's go see these clerics.
Yes, please.
Yes, und please.
One,
All right.
please.
Ah!
Und please. Unten graben blieben. Anyway,
That's
you
his tail.
find the door, and the clerics enter. Like they're kneeling, doing some sort of afternoon ritual. When you walk in,
Does that one have a pair of barbells? What is that?
what are you talking about?
The guy to the left with the hat.
Oh no, ignore that. That's for later.
Oh, okay.
You see nothing. Nothing.
I am gonna make my way over to one of those dudes that are doing their thing and just kind of politely say, "Excuse us."
You walk in and you clear your throat, and oh yes, we were told you Lee.
Yes, I am.
We were told to expect you. Please, have a seat. I can offer you water to refresh yourself, if you'd like. Do the rest of you guys go with him?
Yes. But I
Okay.
hang back.
Lee, it's because you've got so much on your mind. You've only just now realized that there's only the vaguest sensation of this invasive presence right now.
Say that again.
You feel Noctum in the same way you did before you made contact with the Dark Mother.
Okay.
You almost can't feel the Dark Mother's presence.
In here. Good.
Do I feel the same thing? Like, do
You
I
don't
feel it
feel-
lessen?
You don't feel it as strongly. She's just you're stage 1, so you just have like the cough. You have the vague sensation that something's different. He has the full on, like she's talking to him more on a regular basis. So she's like a presence always with him.
And now it's lessened.
She's just like background noise to you. And you don't really notice a difference. What did you need?
Me and Autumn are here because there's this presence that, although we do not feel strongly right now, is always with us and speaks to us. She refers to herself as the Dark Mother.
You are sadly not the first person we've had do this. And we have sent people with similar afflictions on to Waterdeep or up to Neverwinter. We've tried exorcisms, we've tried purifications, and nothing seems to make a difference.
Okay, so I'm just gonna call it like it is, just for transparency. If there's nothing you can do, exorcisms aren't gonna work. What are the chances of us just completely eradicating this death cult and seeing if that makes any difference.
What do you know of the cosmology of gods?
I know only of my own.
Come, it's not a very in-depth, but it should get you the general idea. Gods exist, but there are more gods than you know of, more that you've heard of, more that you've not. Gods from the other side of reality, from the outer planes, etc. But you know your gods. But 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, you might not have known those gods. It is cyclical in nature. Uh, if they fall out of favor and lose followers, their power can wane, but they can never not be.
So they can be forgotten, but they're lost, but not forgotten, essentially.
Yes, exactly. So it is possible that by disrupting her base, this Dark Mother, that you could weaken her influence.
Do you mean base as in like a physical space or like worshiping?
Like her followers, the base of her
Okay.
faith. So I would say, it wouldn't hurt.
Are you aware of where they practice?
And what are we talking in
It
numbers?
we don't know. They have not, as of yet, to our knowledge, become large enough to influence or threaten other major religious orders, but they are a concern, as apparently it's fairly easy to get entrapped.
Yeah, no shit.
Has the entrapments happened to like be like centralized to a certain area, or is this happening all over?
Wherever they are, wherever the cult is, they tend to pack together. Now, little by little, when they move area, the influence will fade, but
Does each person have like a physical contact like item, like we had the journal?
that a pamphlet is most notable. It's a 3-step initiation.
What about the book that we had with the prayers? Is that typical?
Yes, that's what I'm speaking of.
What did they do with those in the past?
Oh, we've burned them, but once she's aware of you and you are aware of her, it seems very difficult to get free again.
Okay.
So I kind of just cross my arms and just look over at Autumn, and I'm like, well, to be frank, I think we should kill this cult and then just see if it lessens its lessens its hold on us. I mean, at this point, I don't see us having much choice.
Either that or we go to Neverwinter and try to get an exorcism.
I have friends, as it were, in brain's not working in Waterdeep. If we were to choose one of those, I'd say Waterdeep might be a better call. My people are there, and I point to the tattoo on my hand.
Your people.
Okay.
Because if we don't know where the cult's based out of, it's gonna. How would we destroy them?
Well, I'm thinking that might be why we need to go sit down and have this dinner with Mr. Orenthane. They might know something that we don't to point us in a different direction. And at which point I think.
Well, now keep in mind, you were told when you first showed up to help break up this death cult or help find leads for it, that they seem to be here, or at least the largest group of them seem to be here.
Okay.
Right.
But that's the one that we already took out, right?
I mean, you killed some. You assume it's more than.
So then
and the last time you major fought a group was in Waterdeep.
All right, so that means there's more here. Realistically, there should be more here. We need to find the rest of them here. So I have an idea.
What
And we
is the kind of timeline on this like possession too? Like, do you notice that people succumb to it within a certain amount of time typically, or does it?
No, I've unfortunately seen some people that stayed on the initiation and never made it to the second phase. I've seen people that first day initiation awaken or whatever the second one is.
Is there anything we can like carry with us or use to kind of like fend it
We
off?
we've tried talismans, totems. Nothing seems to be of any influence.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there anything else?
I think that'll do. And as we're backing out, I'm gonna
That'll do, pig.
kind of pull them in and say, I have an idea. If this Orin thing can't point us in a direction of another cult, why don't one of us pose as somebody interested in joining this cult, namely Autumn or myself, given the fact that she is already speaking to us.
I can
As you're
disguise
all
myself.
backing out, real quick, as you're all backing out, the one cleric that you were speaking to goes back and kneels back to the guy that didn't interrupt, and they both start praying. Anyone who's there and wants to roll perception for me.
Oh, I'm gonna do this by hand. So perception is 20-sided die plus my wisdom modifier.
Yes.
17.
Ugh,
16.
3.
three.
Okay. They seem like they're devoutly praying.
I got a bad feeling about this one.
They're probably praying for us, or they're praying for this town. That's my guess. But it would be rude to interrupt them.
Well, they just broke down in prayer. They just started praying and just in the middle of a conversation, right?
No,
No,
they
no.
prayed after.
The conversation ended, and when you guys started to leave, the other guy went back to his praying.
Oh, okay.
So,
Can we hear what they're praying?
No, it's just a low buzz. It has the cadence and litany of a religious prayer, but like something practiced and said over and over, but you can't make out specifically.
Right. Like when Ace Ventura had that outer body experience.
Yeah.
Can I search the area for?
All right. What are you looking for?
I mean, all I really have to go off of is that symbol.
Even with the A3 in your perception, they call it the temple, but it's actually kind of devoid of religious iconography. And do you think that you think that it's maybe purposeful? That way, if visiting people don't worship the same god as Orenthane, they still have a sacred space to go to, like a non-denominational church.
Oh, okay.
No idea what that is.
So unless you guys specify anything else, we're gonna jump ahead to the dinner.
yeah, that's fine. Did
Okay.
you check the text? Okay, cool. You're typing in it.
Yeah.
No sidebar conversations. Can't do that.
Read the Discord.
You walk in and are presented, and Lord or Danielle leads you in, and it's a little weird, but you think it's a little weird that he's been leading you around instead of a servant, but then he sits down at the table too. Lord Orenthane sitting there, and again, he looks exactly like Gildan, except he's got a little gray around his temples and broader features. He says, I've heard about your attack. Are you well?
I mean, physically, yes.
This is most unfortunate. I am sorry for your plight. but this is why we are trying to find them. My son has returned, and I'm a little upset with him about this because he was supposed to be looking to the north to see if they were moving that way. But he will be joining soon, and we will all talk. Rakk, are you there
Am I where?
at the dinner?
No. I had walked out
Okay.
before they had said they were preparing one.
Okay. We'll say that somebody got word to you. Were you planning to attend?
Sure.
Now that you've been okay, we'll put you and Lee at opposite ends of the table as you're on the outs.
Kick him under the table.
Oh, big jerk.
It's a large table. You all have a good amount of space, so you get to like slide under the fucking.
Stupid.
It would be
Mage-handed
noticeable
slap.
were you too. Light, polite chit chats going on, and or things like, I've heard there's supposed to be a gathering soon, but I don't know where. We are looking for this to help you. Gildan throws open the doors, and even not in his armor, he's a big, imposing fella. And he walks in, slaps Rakk on there. It's like, it's good to see you again, my friend. Hi.
How are you?
And he walks up and gives a stiff bow to his father and goes, Father. Yes, Gildan, please have a seat. You will explain to us all why you have come back from your expedition to the north. And they sit down, and Captain Daniel kind of gets a little tense, and he just kind of reaches out. Who's sitting next to him?
Me.
Rinsler, I guess.
Okay. He kind of reaches out and grips your arm a little bit. It's like, this will be uncomfortable for everyone. Do not react. And you can already see the heat building up in the father and the son's face as they're going at each other. Well, father, I have returned because there was nothing to the north, but it seemed like there was, and they have come south. My son, then perhaps you should have stayed in the field and followed them here to find how they are getting in. But they are here, father, and it is no point in arguing this point. And about that time, a guard busts in and hurriedly walks over between the two of them and goes, You're certain? At this, Daniel gets up and walks around the table and is like, I do not be too rude, but there is apparently a riot. There are two riots broke out on opposite sides of town. We must go now. Excuse. And Gildan and Daniel with the guard run out.
Is it a riot or a diversion? Two separate riots on two separate ends of towns? I don't like it one bit.
I want to excuse myself as well and walk out behind Gildan.
Okay. Lord Orenthane looks at you and says, I don't know, but there's already been one set of many guards sent to the far side of town. This other is not far from here. Would you please go with Gildan and help bring back alive as many as you can for question?
Yes.
Sure.
All right.
Finally, some
I am
action.
sorry. I will get you a good dinner after this.
Sure.
And he kind of kicks his chair back and stands up and storms away from the table.
Oh. Yes.
You hear him muttering under his breath as he goes.
Kind of muttering. It's like standard muttering or like really, really like in depth.
He seems pretty
upset.
upset.
Like that.
Probably.
If you would, anyone wants to roll perception and figure out what he's saying.
I don't know.
I got an 8.
18.
My rolls stink today.
A 4 with my modifier.
Andronicus is the only person that hears him. I have commanded him, and it should be so. I do not know why he is not obeying my commands.
Hey guys, the guy's not obeying his command.
Somebody made
Commands,
his
what are you-
daddy
what are you talking about?
angry.
It's coming.
I just heard it, and
Okay.
I'm just letting
Now-
you guys know.
There's a combat phase we're getting ready to go into, or we can just stop, call it a night.
Combat
about
before sleep, man.
It's about that time though. I don't want to get into it and then be in it for a bit.
And it would be.
Yeah, I gotta wake up early.
Okay, so why don't we go and put a pin in it here, and if we get around to a tomorrow game, we can let DM Visa handle this combat.
I'm good with that.
Sounds good.
All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're going to end it for the night. 2 people hearing crazy dark gods in their heads. The second one did it on purpose.
Gonna get real bad.
I love the fact that you did that right after he told you what you had to do. It's like, you just got to be aware of her. Okay. Hey, are you there? Can I poke you? I
Can I
can.
talk to you?
Oh, wait, you're hanging around? Damn. I don't know. I
Uh-oh.
didn't think this through.
Don't talk to her. Don't acknowledge it. Okay, so what's up, girl?
Hey, girlfriend.
Well, we literally have no other thing that we can do. Like, we're looking everywhere. There's no symbols. There's no
Mhm.
one that will tell us anything. No one knows anything where they are or anything. Like, that's really the only thing I can do.
It's true.
Sometimes you just gotta.
So let's take 5 minutes and really dig into this. If you can't find anything and nobody's telling you anything,
We have
what
to join them.
how does that make your spider senses tingle?
You talk to the god, and then you can get possessed. That's how you do it.
No,
Be-
Well,
it makes me think even though people that seem normal, that they are somehow involved.
It's almost like there's a conspiracy theory.
Oh no, 100%.
Right.
Yeah, like I
Right.
actually believe when they said, "Oh wait, there's a riot on both sides." That's too coincidental.
Yeah.
Literally,
I'm
it's like
DMing
that's
tomorrow.
yeah.
What time tomorrow?
Regular time, I think, right?
Six, right? 6 o'clock.
Or we could add another hour to it and just pull a 7-hour one instead of a 6.
7. What the world?
What? Because we usually game from 6 to 11, right? That's 7 hours.
Legend says this is my 3rd time listening. I still have zero fucking idea what the hell's going on.
Well, sir, then you should go over to youtube.com/ what is it?
Right there.
There it is.
There you go.
No.
Clicking on that, you can get caught up on our shenanigans for the past 4 episodes?
Yeah, something like that.
Counting today will be 4, I think.
And on
Just let
that
me know.
note, I guess we'll
What
go
time?
ahead and end it. Everybody, thanks for stopping by. People on the YouTubes that watch this, we appreciate you too. Stop by the Mixer live streams traditionally every Saturday at 6 o'clock Pacific. Except for tomorrow, we're doing another one.
6
We're doing
o'clock.
special birthday ones today.
Oh, happy birthday, Chambo.
Happy birthday.
Yay!
Happy birthday.
It's a
Birthday
birthday
time.
Actually, you know what? I'm not going to say happy birthday. I'm going to say happy possession by a dark entity day.
Partially possessed, not fully enveloped, but I'm on my way there.
Yeah, I was
mean,
just celebrating.
we're
It's on the
arguing
roadmap, bro. It's on the
semantics.
roadmap.
I'm on my way there. I don't want to. I don't want it to happen. I really don't.
Well, we're gonna help you.
But all right,
Maybe
well,
the matron mother is gathering all of its power from the people it's possessed. So hopefully we kill them all.
Mixer,
The
we will
twist
see you
ending
tomorrow.
is I am the Dark Mother.
Right, Sarah is the Dark Mother.
We'll see what happens tomorrow.
All right, Mixer, we'll catch you all tomorrow at 6 o'clock Pacific for more antics. See you then, everybody. Thank you for all the support, the donations, the sparks, the embers. I literally lost track of how much has gone on there, but I love you and I appreciate you all. And we will see you all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.